Hello, everyone. Welcome to Learning Explained. Today we're going to talk about something really fun, English slang.
Yes, slang is the informal language people use in everyday life. It's different from the English you find in textbooks. If you understand slang, you can sound more natural and understand conversations better.
Exactly. For example, instead of saying, I am very happy, someone might say, I'm stoked. That's slang. It sounds more casual and natural.
Or instead of saying, that's very good, you could say, that's awesome or that's cool. Slang makes English sound fun and friendly.
But slang can be tricky because it changes depending on the place and the people you talk to. For example, some words are common in the US, but not in the UK.
Yes, and it's important to use slang in the right situations. You wouldn't use slang in a formal email to your teacher or boss, but it's perfect with friends.
A good tip is to listen to conversations, movies, or songs in English. You'll hear slang in real life, and it will help you remember it.
Another tip is to practice using slang in your own sentences. You can try saying things like, that movie was lit, or I'm feeling tired, but I'm good.
In this episode, we'll go through some common English slang words and phrases, explain their meanings, and show you how to use them naturally.
Yes, and we'll also give tips on how to learn slang safely, so you don't accidentally use it in the wrong way.
Great! Let's get started with some of the most popular slang words that learners can start using today. All right, Liam, let's start with some slang words that learners hear all the time. The first one is cool.
Yes, cool is very simple, but very common. You can use it to say something is good, interesting, or impressive. For example, your new shoes are cool.
Exactly. And it's very flexible. You can also say, that movie was cool, or cool, I'll see you tomorrow. It can mean good or okay, depending on the situation.
Another very popular slang word is awesome. It's similar to cool, but a little stronger. You can say, that concert was awesome, or you did an awesome job on your project.
Yes, and learners often confuse cool and awesome, but don't worry, they are very similar. Just remember that awesome sounds a bit more excited and enthusiastic.
Now let's talk about lit. This one is very trendy. People say lit when something is amazing, fun, or exciting. For example, the party last night was lit.
Oh yes, but be careful, Liam. Lit is very informal and usually used with friends. You wouldn't use it in a classroom or at work.
Good point. Another fun slang word is hang out. It means spending time with friends. You can say, do you want to hang out this weekend?
Yes, learners sometimes say visit friends, which is correct, but hang out sounds much more natural in everyday conversation.
And here's a useful one. Chill. It can mean to relax, like, I'm just chilling at home. Or it can describe a person, like, she's really chill.
Exactly. You see, Liam's slang words often have more than one meaning, which is why listening to them in context is so important.
Yes, and a great tip for learners is to write down slang words you hear in movies or songs and practice using them in sentences. That way you remember them better.
Another tip is to ask a native speaker if a slang word is okay to use. Some slang words are informal but friendly, and some are not polite.
Right, and don't try to learn too many at once. Start with 3 or 4 slang words. Practice them in sentences and gradually add more.
Exactly. And remember, using slang makes your English sound natural and helps you understand conversations faster.
In our next chapter, we'll talk about how to use slang safely, so you know which phrases are friendly, which are too informal, and which to avoid.
Yes, that's very important. Using slang incorrectly can be funny, but sometimes it can also be confusing. All right, Liam. Now that we know many slang words and phrases, it's important to talk about how to use them safely.
Yes, not all slang is appropriate in every situation. Some phrases are very casual and friendly, but others can be rude or offensive if you use them in the wrong place.
Exactly. For example, saying "what's up" to a friend is fine, but you wouldn't say it in a job interview. Instead, you'd say, "Hello, how are you?"
Right. And some slang words are regional, which means people in the US might use them, but people in the UK might not understand. For example, Americans say awesome, but in Britain, people might use brilliant more often.
Yes, Liam. That's why it's a good idea to listen to native speakers from different places and see which slang words are common where you are or where you want to practice.
Another tip is to start using slang slowly. Don't try to use 10 new slang words in one conversation. Pick one or two and use them naturally in a sentence.
And always pay attention to the reactions of the people you talk to. If they look confused, maybe that slang word is too informal or not common.
Yes, for example, if you say, "I'm dead," to mean "I'm very tired," some people might not understand. It's a very modern slang, mostly used by younger people.
That's a great point. Another tip is to learn slang from context, not just from a dictionary. Dictionaries can explain meanings, but you also need to hear how people actually use the words.
Exactly. Movies, YouTube videos, TV shows, and podcasts are perfect for this. You can listen, repeat, and even mimic how native speakers say slang naturally.
And one last tip for today: practice with friends or language partners. They can correct you if a slang word sounds strange, and that's the fastest way to learn safely.
Yes, Sophie, using slang confidently comes with practice and observation. Don't be afraid to make mistakes because every mistake teaches you something new.
In the next chapter, we'll give you a list of fun slang phrases you can start using today in everyday conversations. We'll also practice a mini dialogue so you can see them in action.
Yes, that's going to be very practical and fun for our listeners.
All right, Liam, now it's time for something fun. Let's look at some slang phrases you can actually use today in real conversations.
Yes, let's start with "catch you later." It's a casual way to say goodbye. For example, "I have to go now. Catch you later."
Exactly. And you can use it with friends, classmates, or people you talk to regularly. It's more casual than goodbye, but sounds very natural.
Another fun one is "break a leg." It sounds strange, but it actually means good luck. You can say it to someone before a presentation or performance.
Yes. For example, you have a big exam tomorrow? Break a leg. It's very common in English, especially in creative or school settings.
Here's a classic: "piece of cake." It means something is easy. For example, "don't worry about the homework. It's a piece of cake."
And you can also say "I'm starving" when you're very hungry. For example, "let's eat, I'm starving." It's more casual than "I'm very hungry."
Another good one is "hang out." We mentioned it before, but it's so common that learners should practice it a lot. For example, "do you want to hang out after school?"
Yes, and here's one that's very popular with younger people. No big deal. It means something is not a problem. For example, "thanks for helping me." No big deal.
Let's try a mini dialogue using some of these phrases so listeners can see them in action.
Great idea.
Mini dialogue. "Hey, Sophie, do you want to hang out this afternoon?"
Sure, I'm starving, so maybe we can get some food first.
Sounds good. "Don't worry about the homework. It's a piece of cake."
Thanks. And by the way, break a leg for your English presentation tomorrow.
Thanks. Catch you later.
Catch you later.
See, that was simple, fun, and natural. You can use these phrases every day with friends or classmates.
Exactly. And the more you practice, the more confident you will become in using slang naturally.
In our next chapter, we'll wrap up all the tips from this episode and give advice on how to keep learning and improving your slang.
Yes, that will be our conclusion and guide for everyday practice. All right, Liam, we've covered a lot in this episode. Let's do a quick summary for our listeners.
Yes. First, we learned what slang is and why it's important to understand it. Slang helps you sound more natural and confident in conversations with native speakers.
Then we talked about common slang words and phrases like "what's up," "no worries," and "hang in there." These are easy to start using in daily life.
Next, we discussed how to use slang safely. Remember, not all slang is appropriate in every situation. Some phrases are very casual and friendly, but others can be rude or offensive if you use them in the wrong place.
Exactly. And finally, we practiced fun slang phrases in real conversations like catch you later, piece of cake, and break a leg. Using mini dialogues helps you remember them better.
Here are a few final tips for listeners. 1. Listen and repeat. Watch movies, shows, or YouTube videos in English and repeat slang phrases out loud.
2. Practice in small conversations. Try 1 or 2 phrases at a time with friends or language partners.
And 3. Pay attention to the context. Only use slang where it fits. Avoid formal situations.
And 4. Be patient. Learning slang takes time. Mistakes are part of the process.
Exactly. And remember, slang makes learning English fun and helps you think like a native speaker. Don't be afraid to try it and make it part of your everyday practice.
That's right. Keep listening, keep practicing, and soon using slang will feel completely natural.
That's right. Keep listening, keep practicing, and catch us in the next episode for more tips to improve your English.
Bye for now.
Bye.